Hello everyone. In the last video, we have discussed about Apache Pig, Hive, and Scoop, which are the different essential Hadoop tools. So, in the today's video, we're going to concentrate on Apache Flume, Apache Uzi, and the Apache HBase. So, let us go with these tools one by one. So the next tool we have here is the Apache Flume to acquire the data stream. So Apache Flume, it's an independent agent designed to collect, transport and store the data in the HDFS. So whatever the transformation processes we have, so all those things can be easily performed by making use of Apache Flume. So the data transport involves a number of Flume agents that may traverse a series of machine locations. So Flume is often used for a log file, social media generated data, email messages and just about the continuous sources. For example, there are three components we have mainly in the Apache Flume agent. So source, channel and the sink. So through the server, source will going to get the data, it will process this and send it to the sink. To the sink, it will be sent to the HDFS. So whole together, which will be considered as Apache Flume agent with the three components: source, channel and sink. So let us discuss about these components in detail. The source mainly receives the data and send it to the channel, and it can be sent to more than one channel at a time, and it can be, for example, it will be considered like a real-time sources. For example, it's web log, or it may be another Flume agent also. So channel is a queue that forwards a source data to the sink. So it can be taught a buffer, like it will manages the source as well as the sink. It will act as an agent in between the source and the sink. So sink delivers the data to the destination, that is like it may be a HDFS file or a local file, or it may be another Flume agent also. One Flume agent can be connected to another Flume agent. A Flume agent must, it is mandatory that all the Flume agents must have these three components which they has to be defined. And Flume agent can have, there may be several sources, channels or sinks also can be there. And the sources which are defined can write to multiple channels at a time, but the sink can take a data from only a single channel. So this is a very important point. Source can write to multiple channels, but the sink can take from only one single channel. Data returned to a channel remains in the channel until the sink removes the data. Okay, so for example, a single scoop can be connected to multiple Flume agents. So in the next slide we have that. Right, see, agent 1, agent 2 and agent 3, all the three agents with source, sink and channel are being connected to the agent 4. Okay, so configuration, so that's what the diagram. So in this configuration, Flume is consolidated to several sources before committing to the HDFS. So there will be a different forms we can connect and transform the network, right? So here the Flume. So data transfer normally used by the Flume, which is also called as Apache Auro, which provides several useful features. Auro is like a data serialization or deserialization system that uses a compact binary format. And another feature is the schema is sent as a part of a data exchange that is being defined by JavaScript object notation. Auro also uses a remote procedure calls, what we can call it as RPC, to send the data. So in an Auro sink will usually contact to Auro source to send the data. Okay, so this is about the Apache Flume. So next we'll see about Apache Uzi. So Apache Uzi is again another tool which is a workflow director system which is designed to run and manage the multiple data related Apache Hadoop jobs. For example, a complete input and analysis may require to several Hadoop jobs. So that can be easily formed by making use of Oozie. Oozie is designed to construct and manage all these workflows. Oozie is not a substitute of an ARM scheduler, but whereas it just manages the resources like by providing the way to connect and control many Hadoop jobs. Okay, so there are three types of Oozie jobs which are formatted. So usually we can represent the jobs which are there in the Oozie workflow as directed acyclic graphs, and basically which cannot be having the directions, right? And here the workflow, which is specified sequence of Hadoop jobs with the outcome based decision points and control dependency. So the progress from one action to another cannot happen until the first action is completed. So the coordinator, a scheduled workflow job that can run as a various time intervals or when the data becomes available. So the next one is bundle, which is a high level Oozie abstraction. So that will batch a set of coordinator jobs. So bundle will be having more than one coordinators. So Oozie is integrated with the rest of Hadoop stack, so by supporting the several types of Hadoop jobs like Java MapReduce, streaming of MapReduce, and Big Hive, Scoop. So this what we have seen in the last video regarding Big Hive and Scoop. So Oozie is also provides a CLI as well as web UI monitoring jobs. So this is a simple example of Oozie DAG. So where they are trying to execute a MapReduce word count program. So with the start, if you have any errors during the execution, it will going to kill the process. Otherwise, it will generate the output. Okay, so Oozie workflow definition can also be written in the HPDL programming language. So we usually call it as XML process definition language. So which works in which the workflow contains several types of nodes like control flow node, action nodes, fork or join nodes, control flow nodes, like this. So the control flow nodes define the beginning and the end of the workflow. For example, it includes the start and end of the job, whereas action node defines the actual processing of the task that need to be defined. When the action nodes finishes, the remote system notifies Oozie and the next node will start the execution. And action nodes can also be included in like HDFS commands. So fork or a join nodes that enables the parallel execution of a task in a workflow. The join node represents the point where it must until the task is completed. So the control flow nodes enables the decision to be made about the previous task. Control flow decisions are based on the result of the previous action. So decision nodes are essentially switch case statements that uses JSP-EL, so server pages and expression language. So this is a quite more complex Oozie diagram, okay, where we have a MapReduce streaming, MapReduce files. So we can also take the decision by making use of the MapReduce files, Java programming, and the file system. Right. So the next one we have is Apache HBase. So HBase is an open source distributed version of a non-relational database model which is designed after Google's Bigtable. So here HBase is a distributed data storage with the commodity services. HBase provides a Bigtable like top of the Hadoop and HDFS. So it contains more like the following capabilities. So it is linear and modular with as far as the scalability is concerned, and it is strictly consistent to read and write operations, automatic and configurable shading of the tables, and automatic failover support between the region servers, and it is having some ease to use Java APIs like the client class. So the overall data model of the HBase is similar to that of the other databases, like it will be having the rows and columns. So columns in HBase is grouped into column families and ACM will be prefix. For example, if we consider a daily stock price as one of the column where we have four members, where it's a column, we can name that as a column family as price. So there are four members: price, open, close, low and high. So column does not need to be a family every time, even you can have a single named also, for example like a volume. So column family members are stored together like a physical file system. HBase cell values are identified with through keys and HBase cell, and the version specified by the timestamp and is created each time, and the data is returned to a cell. So rows in the HBase are lexicographically sorted with the lowest order appearing in the first. So empty byte arrays denotes both start and end of the table's namespace, and the table accesses are via table row key, which is considered to be a primary key. So this is all about the remaining essential tools of Apache, for example Apache Flume, Apache Uzi and Apache HBase. So this is all about the today's video. Thank you.